All right, so Thursday night football, week two, and this has got to be one of the most anticipated games of the week, and we're getting it early. Washington Commanders going to Lambeau to face the Green Bay Packers, 3.5 point favorites, coming off just an incredible performance, demoralizing the Lions. Right off the bat, what do we think about this game? What are our initial thoughts? Christian, I'll go to you first.
Um, I was extremely impressed with the Green Bay Packers in Week 1. Uh, Micah Parsons is a situational pass rusher, extremely effective, and yeah, he made things so much easier. I think he basically created an interception for Evan Williams on Sunday versus Detroit, just with his pressure alone. And I, as a Bears fan, I'm definitely concerned. Uh, and I don't think we have a shot this year at the division. Um, with that being said, I think the pressure that they're going to force come Thursday night versus Washington is going to be too much for Jaden really to handle. So I'm going to take the Packers and give me the spread as well. Um, you know, I trust Florida to script a good game early on. They shouldn't have any issues on that front. So I think they're going to score pretty early. And then I don't trust that offensive line as far as I can throw them at this point. So I'm going to say Green Bay's defensive line gets the better of Washington's offensive line, and they dominate the game.
Ooh, it sounds like trouble for Jaden Daniels Thursday night is the prediction.
He's going to read the field well. It's going to be tough for him to get guys open with little time.
All right, fair enough. Mike, what are your thoughts on this one?
Initially, I like the Commanders under 22.5. Christian touched on it. I mean, we saw just off the bat how much of a difference Micah Parsons made for that front four with them. I like the what I really like is Commanders under 22.5, and I do kind of want to sprinkle on the under at 48 in this one. I think if I had to take a side, I would take Green Bay. I think Washington's new O-line was kind of a tough first task dealing with the New York Giants front four. Turtle's prediction came true. Laramie Tunsil looked bad at times and also got completely shifted and all that. But no, I think the addition of Brandon Coleman, Marshawn Lattimore. I mean, there's going to be a lot of different moving parts, and throw in then Micah Parsons on top of that. I like the under. I don't know how much I trust, Green Bay fully to win it, though I think they will. I do like the under at 48 and Commanders under 22.5. I think this is a pass rush who can get after Jaden Daniels and force him out of the pocket and, be behind on multiple throws we saw him do over the middle and to the sides last week, and I think they'll be able to pull it off.
So far we've got a consensus here between Christian and Mike that the Packers are going to win. My pick is still a mystery, but we'll go to Turtle first.
I was going to say, Pat, if you could pick in this game, I think you'd pick for a tie or for no one to win. So
I'll pick for a meteor to hit Lambeau Field.
Yeah, I think you're on hate watch for this game. But no, look, the Packers defense, I think they really impressed me in week 1 as well. One thing that I found interesting was yards per play for the Lions when Micah Parsons was off the field was about 5 yards per play. When Micah Parsons was on the field for Green Bay, less than 3 yards per play. So it just goes to show the type of impact that he is having on the Green Bay defense so far. Look, I thought the Commanders kind of had a ho-hum game. They played the Giants divisional matchup. Russell Wilson looked like Russell Wilson. I don't think they've seen an offense, so they haven't seen an offense like this so far this year. That's got I think a better running game than the Giants had. And certainly I think Matthew Golden showed some flashes, even if the stats weren't there entirely. Jaden Reed obviously catching a touchdown pass. He's injured. I don't know what exactly his. I think he's questionable going into this game, but
he had a torn labrum in the off season.
Oh, so
he's
it's
recovering from that.
Maintenance. Yeah. Okay. Well then, yeah, I would guess he's going to be out there. But in either case, I'm with Christian and Mike, I definitely lean Green Bay in this matchup. It's kind of we talked about in the offseason. I think the Commanders are more improvement mode, that they're a good team rather than baking them in as a good team right now. I know Green Bay is good. Can only look for Green Bay here.
Yeah, so from my read, I think the key to this game is going to be the matchup of the Washington defense against the Green Bay offense, right? Because we know that Green Bay, evidently, the way they were able to shut down Detroit in such a way that we haven't seen in recent memory, that defense is going to be dominant. And I think that's clear. And Washington's offense, I gripe about him, and I say I don't like the Commanders, but you have to respect what they've been able to do on offense these past 2 years. I think Cliff Kingsbury is a great coordinator. So I think on that side of the ball, it's going to be more or less of a wash. I don't know that Green Bay is going to be able to completely dominate this game. Now, another key matchup I would say is Rashawn Gary and Micah Parsons against Josh Connerly, the rookie at right tackle. That could be problems for the Commanders, just based on what we saw last week. And, as this season goes on, the development of that pass rush duo is going to be more and more deadly. I think Lucas Van Ness also has been able to benefit from the introduction of Micah Parsons. So there's potential for the Packers defense to take over the game. But really, as I was saying, it's going to be up to the Commanders defense against this Packers offense. That's going to be where this game's won. And I really don't have as much faith in the Commanders defense, just based on the fact that they played Russell Wilson and a New York Giants offense that really couldn't get anything going. 21-6. It looks like a dominant win for the most part for the Commanders, but throughout that game, if you watched, it wasn't exactly completely just wire to wire dominance. So there was still some room for Russell Wilson to make plays that just didn't happen. So a better quarterback, possibly, in Jordan Love, as much as I might hate to admit that, will be able to exploit some of those weaknesses in Washington's defense. I don't know how much of a surprise it's going to be with how much hype there's been with the Packers and how they lived up to it last week, but it's going to be a 4-for-4 sweep. I believe we've all said that the Packers are going to cover the 3.5-point spread in this game, and I'm right with you. I mean, I think the Packers offense, Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love, Matthew Golden really was quiet in this past game, so I do expect him to be able to perform against this Washington secondary. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Packers as well. Christian, you mentioned that Jayden Daniels, going up against this Packers defense could be trouble. And I have to agree. I mean, I think that the defensive line, and as I was saying, this is only going to get better. Micah Parsons is only going to continue to be moved around as a chess piece on this defensive line. Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, Edgerrin Cooper as a blitzer too as well. I think he's one of the best blitzing linebackers in the league. So from what we saw, the way they were able to dominate an explosive offense and one of the best offenses talent-wise in the NFL in Detroit Lions, this is only going to go up from here. And I think as Bears fans, as much as we might hate to admit it, there's a lot to be scared about in Green Bay. So I do think the Packers are going to win this game. I think they could win it handily, possibly by more than one score. So I do think that the 3.5 is a good play. They're at home as well. That, and another part about it was the hype that was surrounding the game week 1 against the Lions. There were a lot of Lions fans at Lambeau, but it got loud. I mean, it's the hype is real. And
the Lambeau grass, Pat. Remember the Lambeau grass. I've mentioned it on the pod before. The Lambeau grass can slow fast teams down.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's exactly what you want to do with Jayden Daniels, right?
So,
yeah, and I'm going to watch the right tackle. I want to see him Connerly in this matchup, and I want to see Tunsil obviously, and then really looking forward to Brandon Coleman at left guard. He played really well in week 1.
I loved watching Tunsil get reamed by Commanders fans for his lack of effort. And why I don't know why they would be surprised. It's what Texans fans have been saying all offseason. That's what you signed up for. You guys traded the equivalent of a first round pick in value to the Texans if you loop all the picks together. for a guy who doesn't play with a lot of effort, for a finesse tackle. Sorry, Commanders fans. I'm extremely not that we're gonna do a victory lap when we get to the Texans or whatever, because we shouldn't. It's not like the Texas offensive line was that much better without him, but give me a little sliver of fun here at least.
Certainly less money against the cap that you're going to be spending.
That's true. That's
on
true.
them. So, and the draft picks are a little bit of a nice compensation as well. So, any last minute thoughts on this Packers Commanders game?
I'm interested to watch
Jordan
Matthew
Love.
Golden and Jordan Love.
And Jordan Love's going to throw a pick. I think he'll throw one this week.
Oh wow, Jordan Love's going to throw a pick. He only threw like 2 in a row last week that got called back because of the refs. We've given the Packers their props, but that's a great point. That any given game, we could talk about the Packers run game, the Packers defense, and how dominant they could be. I do think that Jordan Love could lose them any given game this year with a back-breaking interception or turnover. So you said it first, so I'll give you credit for the pick, but
what
we'll see.
typical odds do you get on him to throw a pick? Like -150? Probably
That's a good
something along
question.
those
It
lines.
should be something like that.
Yeah, I bet you it's something that's
we'll
along
see.
those lines. I don't know if it's
Anything
it might be
plus.
listed.
Anything plus,
be.
I'll take.
I don't think I can almost guarantee you it probably won't be plus, but
Yeah.
I am curious what it is.